All right, so in that first video, we did a brainstorm session of what we're gonna build. And and I basically condensed it down, reformatted it a little, so now we have some stories. Mainly I'll just put them in a certain order. User can pause, user can select, user can pause and play. I'll just make that one component. User can select between clave off, 2-3 clave, or 3-2 clave. So I'm envisioning it to be some drop down somewhere. User can adjust the clave volume, okay? And then user can turn congas on and off. User can adjust conga volume. I actually really care about just having clave and then the congas, and then we can do that. User can adjust BPM, which is just how fast it's playing, and then user can see some visual indication of what count of the music that they're on. This is their UI, but we can do something else if we wanted to. Okay, so the technology that we're going to use is Vue, so we're actually going to go and set up Vue. We are going to set up the Vue.js framework by following the Getting Started page. I already have Vue latest on my local browser, so I'm going to create my own project now. So I'm going to go into my terminal. Let me open that. Let's start by creating a project by running this command here. And now it's going to ask me to name my project. So let's name this project Salsa Beats. I'm going to skip TypeScript for now. And I'm going to skip JSX for now. And do I want to be a single page application? Yes, because it's going to be front end only. There's going to be no server or anything. I'm going to see if I can attach all the audio files in one place. So no. Do I want to use Pinia for state management? No. Unit testing, let's just skip some tests. Let's skip testing. This is just a hobby project. All right, cool. So now we're going to go into Salsa Beats. That should have made a directory. And I'm going to open up a text editor so that I can start looking at some code. So here's our code base. There's a bunch of files in it. And let's see what we can do by doing npm run dev. So now, npm install, and then npm run dev. So I'm going to move this over here, npm run dev. I'm going to move it over to the screen, and now we have a URL that we can have access to our Vue page. So this is our Vue page. There's you can think of this as a home page for whatever we need, so we can actually make changes to it. So if I'm curious about like, oh, let's change this text to something else, I can just search by it in my text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code, but it could be anything that you can use to edit text. And let's just call this, so instead of you did it, maybe it can be something like, I don't know, Salsa Beats or something like that. Right, and then let's say instead of Vite app, I can say this is Salsa Beats. Okay, so this is kind of setting up our little project to eventually contain any user interface that will implement the stories that we have. So now that we have that set up, let's actually, I'm just going to keep this set up, basic Vue app scaffolding, and that's what we just did. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my terminal. I'm actually going to use this thing called GitHub. It's a way for us to version control ourselves, so I'm going to do git init I don't really care about adding a remote repository yet, but I just want to make sure I add all my changes to it. So git commit added initial files for Salsa Beat web app. Okay, cool. So if you do git log, this is our change. So now that's fine. All right. All right. So what's next? Next thing we're gonna do is let's actually sketch out the technical implementation of the user stories a little bit. So if we go back to what we're trying to build, right? We need some way to load MP3 files or a WAV file of some sort or an audio file of some sort. And we need to basically get some recordings of the clave or the conga. So maybe let's actually figure out how like people that use audio, that needs to play audio, how to do it on Vue. And so we're actually going to go do some Googling right now, just to see best practices around Vue. Usually I like to go to, let's see, Vue. Actually, no, let's actually get some audio files. So, Vue audio. Let's just take a look at let's just take a look at Vue audio player, see what people have to say. So there's this npm here. There's some tutorials you can follow. This one has 1,000 weekly downloads. Let's say what they do. So you can use audio player, bunch of components, and then you can actually specify an MP3 file as data. And then you can actually handle before play. Okay, I wonder if there's a native like HTML audio player that we can just use so we don't need extra dependencies. So something like this, where I don't really want to use like a view of anything. I just want to basically have something like that. And so maybe there's an audio tag, but I don't know if the audio tag is HTML. Okay, so let's look up HTML. Okay, it looks like there's audio controls. Let's actually look at this tutorial here. All right, cool. So it looks like we can include a MP3 file. I don't know what an OGG file is, so let's just Google what an OGG is. An OGG format, HTML, like why. Okay, cool. I just wonder why we need both OGG and MP3, right? Like, let's see interesting. Okay, maybe it's just a backward compatibility. Let's not worry too much about that. We can always add it on later. So I'm gonna add it as a user story, like, I don't know, user can hear audio on all browsers, not just the one I am developing on right now. Again, we're just trying to get something to work. I don't want to be bogged down by all this other stuff. So maybe we can go with MP3 even. Yeah, MP3 would be good. So it looks like HTML already has an audio control component. So let's actually figure that out. Let's just try it out. So we have our little app here. Why don't we just get rid of all that and get rid of the router view, because I actually don't think we need a router view, and get rid of the logo because we really don't need the logo. And we should just say Salsa Beats here, and then we can do maybe let's just do some audio controls, and let's just figure out like, okay, so we have Salsa Beats. I don't even need a wrapper right now. Let's just have a single web page. Oh, this is a header. Interesting. Maybe let's not call it a header. Let's just give it like let's get rid of all the CSS because I actually don't really need any of the CSS either. Actually, it might be fine to have. Okay, I'm just actually going to do some cleanup here because I don't really need all this like extra stuff. We got the home view, the welcome screen. Like I actually don't need all this right now. Like I honestly don't need any of this. So I'm just gonna try to clean up some code, see if we can actually just simplify a lot of the code that's needed here. So we have the welcome screen, home, we have router. Okay, so if we go to the home, which is the path we see here, it's gonna redirect to the home view. So let's just get rid of this one here. And the home view is something like this, where we have a main template. Let's just say div title, like salsa beats. And let's see if that shows up on the screen. It does. I think it does. Let's get rid of this. Welcome screen, I think you can delete this. Welcome item, I think you can delete this. Home, you can delete this. Okay, and then hello world, let's see. So this is what we call a stack trace, which is a way for a computer to let you know about something that's wrong with the code. And so usually we have to try to figure out like what all this means. So yeah, let's take a look at hello world, see what that looks like. Okay, do we reference it anywhere? Yes, we do. Okay, we're not able to import it, so let's just try to get rid of a lot of that. Okay, cool, so salsa beats. Maybe we can get rid of all this CSS. We don't need to style anything right now. So I think maybe we can get rid of all the CSS, so not just the ones that you see here, but even the main CSS. Yeah, even just this, we can get rid of all this side as well. And then we can get rid of the base too. So I don't think we need any of this right now. There we go. So now we have a very simple page. Again, I made it look really ugly, but I just want to keep it very simple for now so that we know what's going on. Okay, so actually let's actually commit this. So we're just gonna do like removed all styling screen. So we can start from scratch. Also added simple audio HTML component. Okay, cool. So now that we're here, next thing we're gonna do is try to figure out how to put an audio file here. If you look at the stack trace, for example, it's probably gonna say some error like failed to load resource, horse.mp3 is not existing. So we need to download an mp3 file, and we need to figure out how to basically put it in our directory structure so that it's actually able to be found. So that's what we're gonna do in the next video. If you like this video and you're interested in the series, please subscribe and please leave a comment. And yeah, see you in the next video.